Ladies and gentlemen, this is a clip of the halftime show from the 1958 NFL Championship game. It wasn't even called the Super Bowl back then. It was called the NFL Championship. Now, as you can see, the footage perfectly encapsulates the America of the 1950s. The women are modestly dressed, their cleavage is fully covered, or as they preferred to call them in the 1950s, the bosoms. The ladies were wearing antlers because the game was played on December 28th, a few days after Christmas. Now, compared to today's standards, I'm sure most would describe the performance at the 1958 NFL Championship as boring. There were no celebrity cameos. There wasn't a surprise performance from Lady and her Gaga. There were no fireworks. There wasn't a collection of flags to display an abundance of unity. Compared to today's standards, most people would describe the halftime performance from 1958 as the drizzling shits. But this performance was a hell of a lot better than the flaming ass fire of a performance that we witnessed last night. Last week was absolutely brutal for the NFL, and it was all self-inflicted brutality. Later this afternoon, we will talk about the actual game, even though it is abundantly clear that Uncle Roger and friends don't want us talking about the substandard NFL product. They attempted to disguise the stench of this steaming turd last night with messages of unity and friendship. The F in NFL, it doesn't stand for football, it stands for friends. We are the National Friendship League. Yippee! Last night was not about football. And last night damn sure wasn't about America. It was about the fundamental transformation of America. And the NFL attempted to display this mythical transformation on the biggest stage in the world. And there's that key word again. World. The Super Bowl is no longer an American event. If you don't believe me, just go ask Roger Goodell. I'm sure he will proudly tell you we no longer care about America. We are expanding our league globally. But at what price? Remember the famous phrase from the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase? Everybody's got a price. Nothing is free. Everything has a cost associated with it, even unity. Everything has a consequence. Sometimes the consequences are hidden. Sometimes you don't feel the effect of the consequences until much later. But in the case of the NFL, there was a very clear consequence for fake unity. The NFL might not feel the effects until next season, but the consequences were abundantly clear last night. During halftime, millions of people turned off the Super Bowl to watch the alternate halftime show that was presented by Turning Point USA. During the live broadcast, almost 6 million people took their valuable attention away from the NFL, and they gave their attention to Turning Point USA. Uncle KC, who cares? Turning Point's audience was a fraction of the NFL's audience. I'll tell you who cares. Advertisers. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Sugar Mountain Trading. My uncle called me sometime back in November. He's a military veteran, served in the Gulf War in the early 90s. But as he has gotten older, he's been dealing with various health-related issues. Doctors had him on pain management, had him taking all this medication just to get him to sleep at night, most of which wasn't working. Once the meds wore off, he was tossing and turning all night. Plus, he he was building up a tolerance. My aunt bought him some CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain Trading. She wanted him to try it out just to see if it would work. He applies the CBD lotion every night before he goes to bed. My uncle is getting the best sleep that he's gotten in years. Doesn't even take the pain medication anymore because he doesn't need it. Over the holidays, one of my long-term viewers reached out to me telling me how the CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain Trading alleviated his back pain. He had been dealing with back pain for years, couldn't find anything that would work for him, bought a bottle of CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain Trading. 20 or so minutes later, back pain gone. I have countless stories from viewers, family, friends. They all tell me the same thing. They cannot believe this stuff actually works. There is a reason Sugar Mountain Trading has been with me for 18 months now. My audience keeps buying their CBD because Sugar Mountain Trading is the real deal. All CBD products offered at Sugar Mountain Trading, 100% natural, 100% free of THC. So click the link in the description or the pinned comment below. Use my promo code BTL25, BTL25. Receive 25% off your first purchase with Sugar Mountain Trading. Imagine paying $10 million for a commercial during halftime of the Super Bowl. The reason you are paying a premium, the reason you are paying record-breaking prices is because the NFL is promising you record-breaking viewership. The NFL is promising that 110, 120, maybe even 130 million people will be exposed to your product, your brand. How would you feel if you paid $10 million for this slot and millions of people turned off the Super Bowl during your commercial? To make matters worse, the reason millions of people turned off your commercial is due to the NFL's incompetence, their embrace of the woke wiener, which means this could have all been prevented. How would you feel if you paid $8 million for a pregame time slot for your commercial at the Super Bowl, and millions of people refused to watch it because of this? Watch for yourself. Uncle KC, why would millions of people turn this off? That song was amazing! Yeah, great song, great performance. But as is often the case, the problem wasn't the song, the problem wasn't the performance, the problem was the presentation. According to the NFL, this song isn't titled Lift Every Voice and Sing. This song is titled The Black National Anthem. The what? The Black National Anthem? You mean to tell me we have two national anthems? Or as Bad Bunny would say, dos? Let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. According to Uncle Roger and friends, we have the Black National Anthem for 13% of the population. Then we have the actual national anthem for everyone else? I thought the NFL was preaching a message of unity. Someone please explain to me how having two national anthems is supposed to be unifying. That doesn't sound like unity, it sounds like division. Speaking of division, the divisiveness at the Super Bowl of unity reached an all-time high at halftime. That sound you heard around 7 o'clock Central last night, that was the sound of millions of people grabbing their remotes and telling Bad Booger to get off my TV. Those agonizing screams that you heard last night, those were coming from advertisers who wasted millions of dollars on a commercial that millions of people didn't see. Like I told you guys yesterday, Bad Bunny is not the problem. Matter of fact, I'll give Booger a little bit of credit here from a creativity perspective, from a production standpoint. I thought the performance was well done, but the overall performance was the drizzling shits, mainly because I couldn't understand a damn thing he was saying. Since I am somewhat fluent in Espanol, I was able to comprehend a couple of words from Bad Bunny last night. At one point, I heard gasoline. He said, "God bless America," which was nice, I guess. I heard Puerto Rico about halfway through the performance. I guess Bad Booger got hungry and had already consumed his hidden stash of boogers. So I heard him request a supersized carrot. And when Ricky Martin made his cameo, I thought I heard Bad Booger say, "Hey man, nice ass." Whether the performance was political or not, I have no idea. Neither does anyone else in America because we couldn't understand what the hell he was saying. But the overall theme of the performance was fake unity. When translated to English, fake unity means the globalization of America. And that is what this was all about. This was not about football. This wasn't about the Super Bowl. Hell, it wasn't even about Bad Booger. Bad Booger was the symptom. Bad Booger was the messenger. What was the message? Headline at the Miami Herald. Bad Booger's halftime show reminds the world that America is more than just the United States. Towards the end of his performance, Bad Booger and his pretend friends, they were waving around various flags. It didn't look like the Super Bowl, it looked like the damn Olympics. But the message was, Mexico is America, Colombia is America, Panama is America, Brazil is America, and traditional America is no longer America. Once again, they are pushing multiculturalism. Once again, they're pushing an agenda that does not work. And they're using the NFL to send the message. Why? Because they know the NFL has the most influence. 6 years ago, they tried the same thing with the NBA, and it backfired. They wanted to use the NFL, but at the time, Roger Goodell was hesitant to fully embrace the woke fungus. Unfortunately, that hesitation no longer exists. The NFL has fully embraced the fungus. The NFL has embraced globalism. The question is, will they face the consequences? Last night, nearly 6 million people turned off the Super Bowl. But is that outrage sustainable? Will it carry over into the next NFL season? Now, normally, I would say no, but there is a perfect storm brewing right now in the National Football League. We're going to discuss the football aspect of this storm later today here on the main channel, but this storm is similar to what the NBA faced back in 2020. The NFL is fully embracing Wiener. Meanwhile, the product on the field sucks. I mean, it sucks. You can't have both. You can't embrace the woke Wiener while having a substandard product. You can't disrespect and alienate your American audience while offering them a clearly declining product. So there is a very real possibility that normal people could send the NFL a message and stop watching. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.